Welcome to the CIO Evolution. In this podcast, we'll explore the Chief Information Officer's role in executing a new ongoing leadership imperative, digital transformation that promotes agility and resilience. How do CIOs upgrade legacy networks? What are the financial challenges CIOs face? And what are the security measures that are required in the new work from anywhere, mobile and cloud-based world?
Thanks for tuning in. This is Chris Jablonski, Director of CXO Revolutionaries and Community, and I'm your host of the CIO Evolution. Think hard for a second about this question. Have you been playing small games throughout your career to win rather than playing big games, which might have more risk, but can really separate you from the herd if things go right? Aeromexico CIO Fernando Rocha went for big as a leader with countless digital transformation successes to his name across industries like CPG. In an interview recorded at AWS reInvent, Rocha and guest host Ben Fanning explore teams that venture into the unknown with continuous learning and development as a guiding light. You're going to love the lessons here about overcoming fear in technology, driving the right culture, prioritizing innovation, and what really counts when building a legacy. Enjoy.
Welcome back to CXO Revolutionaries. I've got a treat coming your way. Fernando Rocha, who is VP of IT and CIO at Aeromexico. Now, if you're not familiar with Aeromexico, it is Mexico's global airline and a leader in Latin American aviation. Fernando, welcome to CXO Revolutionaries.
Thanks for having me here.
Oh man, we're gonna have a good one today. So you've worked in IT for 25 years, worked across Latin America, US, Europe, and now you're leading a major IT transformation for Mexico. Tell us a little bit about that transformation that you're leading.
Yeah, I think it's a huge journey to evolve the company and bring much more experiences to our customers. So it's about a lot of effort in improve our technology, but mostly improve the service and experience that we provide to our customers. So it's an interesting, long journey. It's a lot of work, but super exciting.
So I noticed that this IT transformation's really been out there in terms of in the media. Forbes is featured in Forbes. And you said that IT transformation is a long and hard journey, and it's not about technology, ultimately, it's about people.
That's right. I think it's easy to think that you can change technology or acquire a new application or any solution and think that you are transforming, but it is not true. So the real challenge is about help the team, the company, think different. It's about changing the culture. It's about evolving the people, but also the organization as a whole. So it's a huge challenge, and it's exciting. That's why it's very exciting, because learn a new technology is very easy, but help the people to evolve themselves, it's more challenging.
Yeah, when a lot of people think probably when they're tuning into this interview, all right, here's an interview with a CIO. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about just the technology. And here you are, so it's talking about the people side.
That's right.
So what's your advice for leaders who want to, like they need to have a IT transformation inside their organization, but they're running into resistance and they're running into people not wanting to change their ways?
Yeah, I think it's important to surround yourself with people that want to evolve, want to learn, that feel that they want to build something different, build something new. So I would say the advice is don't bring people around you that has large experience or knows about technology, but bring people that want to learn something new, that want to build something new.
So is this something that you're looking to identify in the, like you're rebuilding a team, or How are you developing or instilling that mindset in the people that are already there?
Yeah, it's not necessarily changing the people, but it's thinking different. It's thinking about what we are going to learn today and what we want to learn together collectively. So, for instance, this year, we've been learning so many things. I remember when I came for the first time at the reInvent, and I came here to learn about AWS, and we had this strategy already, but we are just learning. And then I was totally scared. Totally.
Tell me more. Why were you
Yes,
scared?
exactly, because it was so many things happening, so many services, technologies, and I said, "Oh my God, this is huge." I mean, it's. I don't know how bring this huge
Where do we start?
universe to the company. So it was really scary. Believe me, it was totally scary. And I remember when I arrived back to the office, and I shared my scariness with people. I said, "Hey, I'm scared because there's so many things, new things we don't know. It's scary when there are a lot of things you don't know." And I could share this feelings to everybody, and now everybody's scared as much as me. So that was a good thing because we said, "Hey, what we're going to do about it?" So then we've been building this journey together.
I like that, and the words that come to mind for me is you help them identify their learning edge. And like when you're on the learning edge, it is a little scary.
Not little, it's a lot of scary.
But also it can be exciting, and it can trigger excitement for the opportunity.
Right. And the feeling of learning and building, and when you look back, it's so exciting. So you feel so pleased about the things you are building. Yeah.
I like that, and it's important, I think, for leaders listening to this interview. It's one thing to help your team learn and grow, but you've got to remind them how far they've come.
Correct.
Because am I right, in an organization, there's always more to do and learn, and you want to go on to the next thing and learn it.
That's right.
But you increase their morale and to keep a positive attitude by saying, "Hey, look, I know we got more to do, but look how far you've already come."
Yeah, and that's about consistency, because you have to be consistent in your vision, in your message, because as much as you go, you have to build on top of things you've been building. So it's about consistency, it's about resilience, it's about getting done.
Yeah, and then we're tying it back to the airline industry. I mean, that's important. There's a lot changing in the airline industry. There's a lot of threats, a lot of challenges. You got flights going all the time. People's lives on those planes.
Right.
And here you are, the senior executive in charge of all the IT stuff. How does that feel?
It's rewarding, actually.
It's rewarding.
It's challenging, but rewarding, because you can make a huge difference with so many people. Every little thing we do can be a huge impact in the lives of so many people. So we've been building a lot of stuff that I'm proud to share, that we know that people can use it, make things easier, checking faster, change your flight when you need it in an easier way, or anything related to travel easier. So
I read that when you started at this organization, Aeromexico, you came in and there were just a lot of different systems and they weren't working well together. A lot of things weren't talking.
Yeah, I think
what's been the big change?
I was lucky to say that the systems, the whole infrastructure was very good.
Yeah.
We didn't have any, big problem. I think the big problem was that they were siloed, they were isolated, they were not connected, and there was no vision moving forward to bring these pieces together. So, but that's a good thing. So I think the team did a very good job in ensuring that the day by day was working. but could be much better, much easier, much faster, and that's what we are doing now. So I was lucky in this sense.
So starting to kind of reach back in the archives a little bit. Where did you grow up, and did you ever think you'd be CIO of a major airline?
No, I don't almost even remember when I started. I'm a Brazilian, so I did engineering, production engineering, factory engineer. So when I started, I think Bill Gates was starting Microsoft, so there was no huge career.
That's your parallel is Bill Gates. Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty much on the same time. And I remember my first job was with Unilever, big mainframes, and we had this project to downsize for Unix and open platforms. So, I mean, changes was all the time since my very first day of job. So, yeah.
So Unilever, other companies, and Hershey. So you're essentially trying to work in every industry, I guess.
Yeah.
So how did you end up getting into an airline? Because worked for some pretty big brand names, organizations, but never an airline before.
Yeah. Again, I think I was very lucky to be almost 20 years with Unilever. It's an excellent company. So this CPG industry is very sophisticated from IT perspective. A lot of process, a lot of solutions that has to be work really, really well. So I think I started in an environment that had a very good IT, very good company processes. So I think I was lucky to experience this. So about moving to the airline, I was called someday saying, hey, there is this position, you might be interested. I said, it's too good to be true. I mean...
And you were at Hershey at the time, right?
Yeah, so correct. So
wait,
I said
to airplanes.
I always had a very good connection with Mexico. So I lived twice in Mexico. Now my wife is Mexican. So when they called, I said, no, it's interesting. So I said I might go, but let's see how it goes. And it was easy. The process of identifying myself with the company, with the people I talked, it was so good communication, good alignment, good, and I think the company was looking for this change, and I think I was privileged to be in the right time, the right moment. Yeah,
I love it. When I was doing my research, I was like, here's a guy who's gone from soap to candy bars to airplanes.
Yeah, and chocolate.
Yeah.
And lots of chocolate. Really I miss this. A lot of chocolate.
Did you get a lot of free chocolate?
At the meeting rooms, you have bowls of chocolates everywhere.
All right, so I'm going to put you on the hot seat. Mexican chocolate versus U.S. chocolate.
Okay. I think all chocolates are very good.
That was a very politically apropos.
I love chocolates all the time.
Have you had the Mexican chocolate-covered grasshoppers or crickets?
Yes.
You have? What do they call them?
Well, I did once, but that's my not favorite.
Okay, that wasn't it.
No.
Too much crunch?
It was salty crickets, not chocolate.
I forgot what they call them. Do you know the name of the chocolate?
Chapulines?
Chapulines.
Yeah.
So good. They have spicy Mexican chocolate. I love that stuff.
Yeah, that's nice.
For me, that's one of my favorites. No offense to Hershey. All right, so we kind of walked through your early career there, and what's the bit of advice that you would give your younger self, or what would you have tried differently?
Yeah, I think it's about never quit in what you want. So visualize what you want to be and work hard, and you'll get there. So that nothing is impossible. I think that's I think I've learned this in life. Anything is possible. I remember during my career discussing situations where, now this is not possible. It's too expensive or too complex. No, it might be not easy to get there, but it's always possible.
So just to have that fortitude to continue in your career, even when the challenges are big.
Yeah.
Was this something that was instilled in you at a young age? Well, I guess you're looking back, so you would recommend it. When for you did it really trigger that this is a key trait for success?
Yeah, I think I always was curious about learning. Again, when I was perhaps 14-year-old, I was reading, Microsoft Basic and learning computing.
Okay. All right.
At that age, in a time that there was no computer available. I remember I said, Dad, I want a computer. And what is computer? I mean, what are you talking about? It was not available. I mean, there was this big mainframes, but no personal computer at that time. It was before PCs. Actually, my first computer was a TRS-80. And yes, it was, at that time, there was Commodore, but it was rare. Just very, very, very crazy people talk about that. And it was totally uncommon. But it was about learning something new. And I always had this feeling of seeing something. I remember when I was young and going to a bank with my dad, and there was this, 10, 20 lines and a lot of people waiting. And again, I was like 8, 10-year-old saying, it's waste of time. There might be a different way to get it. I remember that, saying, I don't want to be here like 1 hour to pay something. And so I think that curious about learning something and technology and do things better was always in my DNA since very young.
I love that. That's no doubt serves you well in your career as an IT professional, but also being willing to go to different industries. I mean, you could have just stayed in Unilever, right? Or you could have stayed in Hershey. Mm-hmm. But you're willing to take these skills and learn what you need to about other industries and take them with you.
Right. Yeah. And I'm not afraid of something new. I think that's also something, because it's airline industry is a lot of, it's complex business. It's not simple. Yeah. So, but I feel this as, it's cool. I want to learn this.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, man. Well, so if you could instill one trait in every employee, what would it be, and how would that make things different?
Yeah, that curiosity of people wanting to learn something new and doing something best, the best or better. I think that's for me the one thing.
If we walked out of this interview and you saw that, how do you think the world would be different if everyone was able to maintain that curiosity? What would it be like, you think? Imagine that world.
Yeah, it would be fantastic. It would be simple, easy, and accessible to everybody.
Yeah, so good, man. So when did you have a twist or failure in your career, and how did it lead to your success or growth on down the road?
Yeah, that are the tough moments, and have several failures. I'm trying to do everything right all the time, and it's very, very painful when you do something that doesn't work. And I can tell you a story. Again, it was at the time with Unilever, and I had a coach, and at that time, I might have like my career like 8 year, 10 year perhaps with Unilever at the time. And we were discussing about developing career, etc. And he asked me, tell me about your failure. I said, I never failed. Everything worked. And then he said, you know what? This is your problem. And I said, what do you mean? Yeah, he said, you were afraid to fail. You were afraid to fail. I said, yeah, you prefer to play small games and win instead of try to play big games and fail. And I said, it sounds easy now talking, but it was a very tough conversation at the time. And I said, that was a very, very important moment in my life, my career. I said, yes, I'm afraid to fail. And I need to change. I want to play bigger games. So that was when I had to jump into the darkness about I have to be prepared to do something and fail and learn. So at that moment it was very tough for me, but now it's fun. It's about you learn, you do, it doesn't work, you just move on. But it took for me a couple of time to be ready for this.
The failure was not having failed.
Exactly.
Which I think is probably a wake-up call.
Exactly.
And the failure was being comfortable playing the small game.
Yep.
Man, I can so relate to that.
Yep.
Early on, too, I was like, make a mistake is bad. Mm-hmm. I don't want to share it. If I make a mistake, it's how quickly can I clean it up and act like nothing ever happened, versus taking the time to really understand what happened and then trying to play a bigger game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Man, so good. Well, I want to make sure that we have time to really dig in a little bit more on what's going on in the airline industry right now. Technology is moving at a breakneck pace. Also, security threats. I mean, it's scary to think about, what could go wrong in the aerospace industry? How are you guys thinking about cybersecurity and the airline industry right now?
Yeah, again, it's about culture and people. Again, it's about mindset that security first, safety is first, security is first. So we cannot do anything without thinking security first. So everything we do has to be security first for everybody all the time. So it's build this mindset and keep it consistently talking, learning, and having some failures, but saying, hey, I learned this, let's improve this and let's improve that.
What are you doing to stay ahead of the game? Obviously learning from your own mistakes, but you seem like a leader who's really fostering that learning mindset. What resources or tactics are you using to help yourself stay ahead of the game?
It's during your life, there is always some moments, there is this temptation to do shortcuts and do the easy things. So I think what we try to do is always the right thing, doesn't matter how hard it is. So it's not being tempted to do, I don't know, you were using this old version of database, we can keep it, or no. You have to make this up to date, you have to make this better. It's really hard work to make this every time the right thing and no shortcuts.
Demand excellence, it sounds like.
Yeah, because there is no opportunity for any, as you said, it's a big thing. It's a big thing.
As a CIO, how do you think about developing your own talent inside, and when do you identify when it's time to, hey, I need to partner with a third party, or I need to get outside help? How do you process that?
Yeah, I think you have to work together with the company, with HR and the whole company, and this talent management process where you have to identify critical roles, identify your critical talent, and develop and retain talent, and bring new talent as required. So some roles are very difficult to bring in, so you have to develop in-house. So I think it's a combination of understanding of what do you need, what knowledge or what attitude do you need, and scale with partners. So it's impossible to work alone. So you have to have partners that can be with you, scaling, the knowledge, the attitude, etc.
With artificial intelligence now taking such a prominent place in the news, in businesses, and accelerating, what excites you the most about artificial intelligence in the airline industry and what you do, and what's the most concerning?
I think what is exciting is that it's easy to start it. You can start.
That's true.
It's not complex. I'm not saying it's simple, but it's much easier than 20 years ago. It's accessible, so it's easy to do it. So this is exciting. It's not, you can do amazing things in a couple of weeks. So it's not complex. And that's exciting because I think the challenge is align priorities, and there are so many opportunities to do. So you have to align what things you want to tackle as a company. But I think in terms of what's scary is it's so fast and it's so much thing that is available. So my concern is about putting all the framework, the guardrails to use this in the right way, protecting data, securing the data. I feel sometimes that we have to be always ahead to ensure that you have the right framework to build those solutions in the right way. So I think it's about ensure that the speed of these things, you cope with this speed. That's, I think, it's my most scary.
The accessibility and the ease, and exciting, but the speed
exactly
is the part you got to watch
because it's
out for.
easy, it's scary. Yeah,
the adoption
exactly.
rate, so.
Exactly.
So starting to wind this up, Fernando. One day, when you leave Aeromexico, what do you hope your leadership legacy will be?
You always want let some legacy. I think what I want to, it's not about any solution or capability. So it's about having a strong IT team that can continue to build those solutions in the right way. So it's ensure that this mindset continues.
A good reminder for all of us that our legacy is ultimately left through people.
Yes.
Not the things that we create, but the
That's
people
it.
we influence.
Yeah. It's always
powerful
about
message.
people. Yeah.
And so just building on that, what's your parting thought for our audience today?
Yes, it's about people. It's about understanding and collaborating, because I think the exciting thing is that I love to be in a room with people that are much more smart than you. That makes me exciting, because you are learning. Because again, it's about learning. It's about doing something new. So yes, that's the message. I want to be in a room with people that's smarter than me.
Well, hopefully you felt that way today. I don't know, hopefully.
Absolutely.
I learned a lot from you. Fernando, thanks for coming on CXO Revolutionaries, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you, Ben.
Thanks for listening to the CIO Evolution. Check back with your podcast provider regularly for more episodes. You can find more episodes along with other podcasts on the CXO Revolutionaries website at revolutionaries.zscaler.com. Statements by Zscaler podcasters and guests are informational only and should never be construed as legal advice. You should consult your legal advisor on matters related to you or your business. Zscaler makes no warranties, express, implied, or statutory as to the content of this podcast, and it is provided as is. Content on this podcast may contain forward-looking statements that are current as of the date of the recording and subject to change. These statements are subject to the safe harbor provisions created by the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Full legal disclaimers are available at revolutionaries.zscaler.com. Copyright 2021.